This is the Mile High Magnum Dak Draper, and you are watching the I-70 Hot Tag Podcast.
This is the walking weapon, Josh Alexander, current, reigning, defending Impact World Champion, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
What's up, guys? I'm the Spotlight Logan Knight, and you are watching the brightest podcast in the world for professional wrestling, the I-70 Hot Tag.
Reach for it. Reach for it. Reach for it. I'm Matt Seidel. This is the I-70 Hot Tag.
This is Nixie XS, and you're watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
What's up, everybody? It is one half of the beautiful people and 7-time women's world champion Angelina Love. And aren't you lucky? You are watching the I-70 Hot Tag.
Hey, I'm Marcus Buff Bagwell, and you are watching the I-70 Hot Tag, baby. Check it out, and remember, no matter what, I'm buff, and I'm still the stuff.
And now, CRMEDIA presents the I-70 Hot Tag with your host, Chaos Chase, and the real Josh Elliott.
Oh, how long it's been. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Chase Riley. You all may know me as CRMEDIA. Actually, by now, you guys all probably just know me as Chase Riley because CRMEDIA has been gone for a long time. But we're gonna change that. We're gonna mix it up a little bit. And as always, I am joined by my co-host, my friend, the real Josh Elliott. Josh, it's been so long since we've done this wrestling thing, man. I don't even think we know what we're doing anymore.
I absolutely have no idea. This is a new.
Do we do the same thing where they watch that stuff on TV? Are we supposed to talk about weekly shows? Josh, why don't you do me a favor and let everybody who's watching, blowing up right now, my guy. We've got a bunch of people watching on YouTube. We got a bunch of people watching on Facebook. Didn't even really need to go live on the CRMEDIA section because that's a no-go. But why don't you reintroduce yourself to all these people and let everybody know what we do here, because I'm confused. I don't know what we do.
Yeah, we are the I-70 Hot Tag. For those of you who do not know, we cover local independent wrestling in the Kansas and Missouri area. And like Chase said, we are blowing up in the chat here. Brian Ruse in the house, appreciate it. Dean Houston here. Alyssa Arthur's also here. Appreciate everybody tuning in, both on YouTube and on Facebook. As Chase said, man, I'm the real Josh Elliott. You can find me on all the social medias. I pretty much have them all. And the I-70 Hot Tag. We are been a little bit more active the last month leading up to this. God, we haven't been live since we haven't had an interview, I guess, since the summer. I think it's been almost a half a year.
It has. I think we talked earlier in our last interview was the Spotlight Logan Knight.
I think so.
Absolutely. Did you highlight Dean? Dean said, "What's up, guys? We have missed you." Let's kind of talk about this. You know, the last interview we did, the Spotlight Logan Knight. Dude, my streaming section has just been dismantled because there's just so much stuff in here from making merch of like t-shirts and stuff. So like, dude, I don't even have this is why we don't have this is why I hate kids. So I gotta hold my $300 microphone, which makes me very happy. So anyways, moving on. You know, we had Logan Knight was the last one. Tonight we're gonna start off strong with one of KCXW, XWC, one of the wrestling schools in the Kansas City area. That if you wanted to look at being a professional wrestler, that is one place that you could look. But Atlas Armstrong is going to be our guest tonight. You have seen him in Fountain City Pro. You have seen him in KCXW. You've seen him in New Breed Wrestling. Show Me State Wrestling.
Yep.
You know, sorry.
Had a heavyweight title match there against Austin Militello.
Yes. So kind of getting reintroduced to some of these wrestling promotions that have kind of started up in our time away, because even before the Logan Knight interview, Josh, we were kind of on the back end here. So let's talk about real quick before we introduce Atlas Armstrong and bring him on here and talk to him. Because, you know, we kind of talked about last year, kind of going into 2024, what the I-70 Hot Tag was going to look like, of it being just interviews. And we're still going to keep that same format going into 2025. We're still going to do it just interviews and promote the events. We are not going to break them down. We are not going to go through and give our expert analysts opinions or anything like that anymore. I think the show has kind of evolved and moved on from that, not what we wanted to do. And so that's going to be something that we focus on. And in 2025, Josh, what do you think the I-70 Hot Tag is going to look like in 2025?
I think we're going to see a lot more of the Hot Tag. You know, that's kind of.
Are we looking at weekly episodes? Are we looking at bi-weekly episodes?
You know what? We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. You know, we're already leading up to Christmas, so hopefully we'll get another one in before the end of the year. But we might not have that. You know, God, it was 2022 and 2023 where we had, we had like 2 months worth of interviews lined up. You know, we would promote them, and we'd be able to show a 2-minute video promoting them.
We had Thursday nights on the Hot Tag, and then we had Monday nights on the Pit Stop. Yeah. And the Pit Stop, which was supposed to be a watch along show, actually got turned into an interview show. So, guys, wanted to kill some time here to kind of get everybody, get more people in. Like I said, super excited. All you guys have joined us tonight. Matt Stockdale joining us. Big shout out to him. My good friend, Sonny Money Mayo. Love that dude as much as I love Sonny Money, as much as he loves Solo Sokoa. So, huge shout out. And Your haircut matches the tree.
I
Wow.
swear to God.
My man. Did Matt Stockdale just turn babyface on this show?
He did.
Well, babyface to me, I guess heel to you, but
Yeah.
tomato, my friend.
you
Before we introduce Atlas Armstrong, hey, I do want to give a quick shout out to the official snack of the I-70 hot tag. Their presence will be known here on the podcast more as we go forward. Guys, we are just kind of kicking up. Probably going into 2025, you might see me revamp that logo a little bit. Of course, keeping the same one. I'll never, ever change it. I love it. It's my favorite logo I've made. It's my most complimented logo I've made, but I may adjust it just a little bit, just kind of give it a fresh look. And then of course you're going to see a bunch of our sponsor plaster all over here. The official snack of the I-70 hot tag, Guys Snacks. Huge shout out to them. Appreciate everything that they've done for Kansas City wrestling, for the I-70 hot tag. Love those guys. If you guys may think that Guys just sells chips and bagged up snacks, you're wrong. They don't. They actually make pizza, deli sandwiches, all kinds of stuff. And the company behind Guys actually owns Spanish Gardens, a tequila, Caldwell's Burgers, which Caldwell's is named after the original founder of Guys. The Guys has been a staple in Kansas City since the 1930s. It just makes sense that Guys stands behind Kansas City's favorite wrestling podcast. And I said it, I'm sorry. And Kansas City's favorite wrestling promotion. So that's it. That's all I got. That's my last one for tonight. So without further ado, Josh, what a wise man once said, tradition bites, NWO for life. But we're going to keep tradition alive here tonight. And I'm going to let you introduce our guest.
All right. So as you already kind of mentioned, we got a young up-and-coming wrestler here in the Kansas City area. Got brought up in KCXW at the XWC. You've seen him in KCXW. You've seen him in Show Me State Wrestling, Heartland Championship Wrestling. And he is the current reigning, defending New Breed Wrestling television champion. Let's bring on our guest, the Natural Atlas Armstrong. Champion, the Natural Atlas Armstrong.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, sir? How are you this evening?
Oh, I've been doing good. You know, like you guys said, it's near the Christmas season, doing all that fun stuff with the Christmas shopping and all that. So, but thank you for that nice introduction, Josh. You said, defending this Saturday, I got a match against Superstar Steve for the title, all the way in Eldon, Missouri. So it's gonna be the third time this year I faced off against him.
Yeah, I saw you posting that on social. This is this all three in New Breed, or is it different companies?
So, yeah, this is the second one at New Breed. We wrestled like all the way back in like June, like Max Creek at the Ozarks baseball place, and then my World League Wrestling debut was actually against him for his championship. So
nice.
Yeah.
So Atlas, I'm gonna do this. My bad. We got a jokester that comes into the chat every time we go live named TJ
Oh my!
Barnes, who wants you to take your shirt off.
Oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you, TJ.
Yeah, please don't. This is a family friendly show. If you take your shirt off, then I'm obligated to take my shirt off, and
It's
then
just going to be a wild roller
and
coaster
then
from
Josh's
there.
nipples are going to get hard, and then we're going to get canceled. So, Atlas, I want to do this the same way that we start off every single interview. I want you to take a moment and tell us and the people watching who may not know, who is Atlas Armstrong.
So yeah, thank you. I call myself the Natural. Like, that's the moniker that I have. I mean, I'm not the biggest guy who goes out there. I know that they're walking through the curtain, but I pride myself on being natural, being true, being genuine, and I feel like that's something that a lot of fans can relate to. So that's why everywhere I go, I always call myself the Natural.
There you go. So what everyone has their own story of growing up, watching wrestling, getting into it. So have you always wanted to be a wrestler? Is that something you knew from a kid, or is that something you kind of, as you got older, you started wanting to try out, knowing there may have been a school close to you?
So, growing up, my brother was like my inspiration for a lot of sports. He was the one who introduced me to pretty much every sport that there is. And so I grew up on the era of like John Cena and Randy Orton. So like they were really big inspirations to me. But growing up like throughout high school, I thought about the idea of like being like a teacher or like a scientist or something like that. But then my brother took me to like this house show for WWE, and from match 1 to the main event, I was instantly hooked, and I was like, no, this is it. This is what I want to be. And then it's funny that you say a school close to you, because growing up, grew up in a small town in Nebraska. So the XWC, that was 2 hours away from me. So I would have to like right when I got off at like 3:30 or 3 o'clock, I'd drive 2 hours to go to the center, and then obviously drive all the way back home to Nebraska, and I would not get home until about like 11:30 to midnight.
Jeez. Was there any
Yeah.
like local promotions up there in Nebraska that you used to attend, or?
So it's very funny because like about halfway through my training, because the first thing I did on like line was like pro wrestling schools near me. I didn't know any better. And there was like a couple, but they were more of like the like collegiate amateur style. And then about like so 2023, about like the end of 2023, I saw something where it was like Bulletproof Academy in like Omaha, Nebraska. I was like, oh man, I'm already like through everything. I'm working shows. I'm like that. But it's pretty nice though, because I told my buddy to come to the center, but he's always like that big drive issue. But then he's like, no, I'm signing up for the Bulletproof Academy. So I was like, that's good. That's good.
That's cool.
So, kind of talk to us about that belt that you got over your shoulder, the New Breed Wrestling Television Championship, and Atlas, tell us about winning that and the feud that you had with Frodo the Ghost.
So yeah, that was I will always hold that near and dear to my heart, because like that is like the first ever rivalry I ever had, and it's something that kind of just all came into place. So the first time Frodo and I like faced off, it was just by complete chance. Just some issues with traveling, and so I just ended up facing him. And then next year, yeah, we just I was just like, we can work a program around this. And then we were at a lot of the New Breed dates, so that's really what helped us out. And then what was really cool is they ran a show on September 14th and then the 21st. So like the week before, Frodo was like going out and like, just I'm giving an open challenge to anybody but Atlas, and like doing the, bad guy stuff of like he doesn't deserve it, all that, and then we did our own thing, and then we like got into a face off at the end, and then Scotty Z, he was like, you guys keep running from each other. Next weekend it's over with because it will be a last man standing with him as the special guest referee. And I was very excited for that because that was my first ever last man standing. And to an extent, like I liked all the ECW stuff, and I like given that chance of like stretching the bar or like of going extreme. And so I was really excited for the whole last man standing, and then just giving him that iron claw and finally hearing that 10 count to be the new breed wrestling television champion. It's a feeling I can't forget.
So talk to me about the iron claw. Is that your like solidified go-to finisher?
So during that match, Frodo went up to the top, and I hit my cutter, which I usually use that as my finish, but then he was able to like use the ropes to get up, and so I had my hand. I was like, last ditch effort, just go ahead and use it. So it's kind of like that, last thing in my pocket, like very, very last thing.
Gotcha.
That's awesome. Hey, also in that match in the clip I did, you did a coast to coast from the top rope. Did you have any doubt? Have you ever done that? Did you have any doubt that you weren't going to make it?
So the second they said last man standing, I'm like, I am doing a coast to coast no matter what. And so then, I got the trash can and everything. I was like, it's going to make it even more perfect. And my mom, she's like a very skittish person. And I was so like, please come to the show. You have to come to this show. And where we had the spot set up at, my mom was actually like right there, like kind of front row to see the action. But so that was really nice because she was always like, why, like walking back, she's like, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? But so that coast to coast, I was just like setting up that spot. I was like, you get the wrestling adrenaline, but like I was really feeling it in that moment. And as I was climbing to the top, like trying to stabilize myself, I kind of lost my balance for a second. I was like, I'm not messing this spot up. But then like I found it for a second, and that's when I just went for it. And then,
Looked nice, man. It really did.
Thank you.
One of the best parts about this show, for people watching and for you, Atlas, is it's live. So we get to interact with people. I don't know what's up with your camera, man, but it keeps giving us the thumbs up. I like it.
Oh, I guess it's just been a good time.
Amanda Keller calls you little bro, and she says, we love you, Adam. So proud of you. That's a lot of TJ Barnes wanting people to take their shirt off. And then also wanted to give a huge shout out to Herb Simmons. Herb is a promoter at SICW. Always miss doing the show because miss Herb coming in and saying what's up to us.
Yeah.
Let's keep on New Breed a little bit. What you're going to be doing this weekend, which is the Toys for Tots event, which I like to talk a little bit about that because New Breed kind of always does those benefit shows, and it's pretty cool that this is like our third December doing the hot tag, and every year it comes up the Toys for Tots, the collection of toys and stuff what they put on is pretty cool. But kind of talk a little bit about your relationship with New Breed and Scott, the owner, and then kind of move into your opponent, Superstar Steve.
I have nothing but a really good relationship with Scott and New Breed. The first time like I went out there, it was just just a helping hands, kind of foot in the door type thing. And then the next time, he's like, hey, I'm gonna have you face Austin for the title, the U.S. Championship that he has. I was like, okay, yeah, that's fun. And then all of a sudden, he's like, oh, and then by the way, your main event, and I want you to go 20. And I was, debut and everything. It was only like my 10th match. I was just, a lot of the nerves hit me, but I'm nothing but grateful for that because it's one of those like sink or swim. And if I hadn't taken that or anything like that or been pushed into that opportunity, then I wouldn't know what I could be or where I'm at today, especially like with this too. And then kind of like what you were saying this weekend. So Max, like the whole like feud and everything with Frodo. I had a match with him actually all the way out in Sedalia in like April where I lost, and my whole thing was like redeeming myself, the redemption. And I beat like Iceman, Burt Cameron, and then Max Creek. I ended up facing Steve like for my very first time, and I ended up just coming just short of beating him. And so then when I seen that the match was announced, I was very happy because this has been a loss I've been trying to redeem, so it's finally coming to fruition this Saturday.
Fantastic. Got a couple of questions here. Sunny Money. Are you familiar with team double stuff?
Oh, of course I am.
Okay. All right. What? Hey, yo. Dean Houston wants to know who your biggest fan and your biggest supporters are.
Oh, my biggest it's my little nephew, my Amanda Keller, her son. I got him going to some shows, and ever since then he's been hooked on it and now beating up mom and dad. So yeah. Awesome. He's my favorite supporter, yeah.
Awesome. Herb Simmons got great things to say about Scotty at New Breed. TJ Barnes wants you to tell us about all the toys that you have.
Okay, yeah. I'm a big Funko Pop collector. Can't get enough of those. Yeah. Then any type of like, I guess nerd memorabilia. Like I got a couple of like the boys figures. What else? My sister gifted me like an Undertaker figure. So, but I mean anything Funko Pops, I try to get my hands on.
Nice. Okay. I mean, is it just like, is it anything Funko Pop, or is it just like specifically wrestling stuff, or not just specifically wrestling stuff, stuff that you're into, like the boys?
Stuff I'm into. Like right now I'm trying because I got the Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels like where they're in the ring, and like I've been looking online. There's like a couple other like ring ones. I'm trying to get on those, but I mean, yeah, it's pretty much anything I'm interested in. I'm interested in a lot of stuff to the point where it annoys some people. But yeah, like I got like Marvel, DC, got a couple of SpongeBob ones, The Boys again, So I mean, yeah, anything I've been interested or am interested in.
Fantastic. I want to kind of go a little bit off road here with you. Atlas, huge fan of the show. Austin Muitalo, astonishing Austin Muitalo. You and him have kind of, like you mentioned, you had that match against Austin. You and Austin have kind of, not to pull back the curtain a little bit, but you guys kind of seem to have a great relationship outside of the ring, outside of the business.
Yeah.
Kind of talk to us about that relationship with Austin.
Yeah. So, the whole like United States like Open Challenge, that was all Austin's idea. I was like coming home from work and he just messages me like, hey, give me a call when you can. And then he was like, hey, I want me and you, because we met at like a tri-state show beforehand, like literally a couple weeks before. And he's like, yeah, I'll give you the chance. And then just anytime like we're in the locker room together, because he also has a good like relationship with Shylin. So like anytime we're in the locker room, it's just been a bunch of fun, just messing with each other, kind of like that boys being boys mentality. And just like you're kind of bringing up the show me state stuff, us two, we had so much fun doing everything we could with that. It was a lot of fun, and actually like working an ongoing rivalry with a buddy of mine was pretty fun.
So, staying on that buddy, topic, is other than Austin, is there a couple friends that you've accumulated since you've started wrestling, and do you consider like close friends or that you've worked with around the Kansas City or Kansas area?
Yeah, he's probably in the chat right now, probably gonna say something. TJ, Tobias, Burke Handy.
Wait, TJ Barnes is Tobias? If I'd have known that, if I'd have known that, I'd have hit the block button a long time ago.
But obviously my girlfriend Shylin, definitely wouldn't have met her without wrestling. But my big best friend from wrestling, we actually are teaming up next weekend. His name is Talon. That's his work name, and then his real name is A. And yeah, we're teaming up next weekend, and he reffed one of my matches for KCXW, and again in the locker room, just boys being boys, we were just messing around the whole time, and then we just became best friends since then.
Where's that going to be at next weekend?
Oh, World League, yeah.
World League, WW, nice.
Yeah.
Good deal. So you kind of mentioned your Sean and Brett that you had for Funko, but is there any wrestlers that you grew up watching and kind of idolized, and is there a specific match you hold in high regard? Being a wrestling fan from an outside looking in.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, I grew up on the John Cena and Randy Orton era, so of course those two, like Edge, Batista, kind of the generic, but I also really liked Rey Mysterio, because I like doing the high flying, and like I say, I'm not the biggest guy walking through the curtain, so seeing those smaller guys holding up with the giants was always something nice to see on TV. And then my favorite match before I was big on being a wrestler and learning the ins and outs, all that stuff, is Johnny Gargano versus Andrade at Takeover Philadelphia for the championship, because I at the time was not watching NXT, but I remember going through my phone or whatever, everybody reacting about this match, Meltzer 5 stars, everybody just saying this is one of the best matches of all time. And so my brother had the network, so I just went and decided to watch it, and I think a big part of me was because, like I said about Rey Mysterio, was those were two guys, not again, the big, 300 pounds, they're kind of my size, pulling on a match that everybody loves. And so I always was that was more proof that I could do it. And then just the whole with Johnny becoming NXT champion, the whole pushing them to believe that whole thing where it's the underdog, could he finally have his moment, and just that story being told really well in that moment. And then that also of course pushed me to be a wrestler.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you what, a lot of people complain about they break Johnny and they break Johnny and Tomasa up, and then they put them back together. They break them up, they put them back together. I mean, the two guys make magic every single time they get in the ring, whether it's together or against each other. So I don't hate it. TJ Barnes wants to know who your favorite superhero is.
Dude, I'm inclined to I kind of don't want to answer, because
No,
I
no,
know
go,
how he is.
go, no, go ahead, go ahead, Atlas. I mean, because trust me, I've heard you say,
I'm just
I've heard you say a lot
get
of
ready
stupid
for the.
shit. So don't worry.
I know. I just get ready for like TJ's just Tobias being Tobias, but my my favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Oh, well, I was
Just
expecting a horrible answer because I remember a specific time watching you put together a wrestling ring. Awful, by the way. But granted, it was a while ago, so I mean, I'm sure you've got better since then. But I remember watching you put together a wrestling ring very terribly, and you talking about Star Trek being better
I
than
know
Star
exactly what it
Wars.
was. Yeah.
Yeah, and you didn't even know which one it was.
No. I want to reiterate. I knew exactly what it was. I just because
I know.
I was like, it was your first show, the first Fountain City show, and like somebody said like the projector is R2D2, and yeah, I was just like, oh yeah, from the Star Trek series, and I got every single one of you, so I kept going with it.
Okay. All right. Well, it's good to know that you pretend to be stupid, that you're not actually that stupid. So that makes us feel a lot better. Hey, Alice, I want to talk to you about like, how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, 20. I'm actually about to turn 21. Yeah.
Okay. And when did you like have your first debut match?
I'd have to like look through my notes, but it was like July of last year. So
July of 2023.
yeah.
It was 7:30, Dean, but that's appreciate the support, brother. So you're 20 years old. You haven't even been doing this 2 years. Let me ask you, take a moment to think and tell us where you see yourself in 5 years.
Oh man. I say like very cocky, like the cockiest answer is at least signed to like WWE. I've always thought about that question, and I was actually talking to my head trainer about that, and like being over a year in the business definitely opens your eye a lot more than I thought it would. But I see a lot of potential in myself, but I say at the very least signed. If not, then at the very least a tryout with WWE, and then also one of my goals is wrestle in the 50 states. I would like at the very least to be over halfway done with that in 5 years, and then wrestle out of the country. I feel like I can do that within 5 years.
Absolutely. I feel like you have to have a sense of, not, you mentioned, not to sound cocky, but you have to have a sense of arrogance, a taste of arrogance, if you will, to be in this business, because you have to believe that you are better than the tens of thousands of other guys that are on the independent circuit doing the same thing you're doing. And that's, hitting the road, making the cities, working and trying to live a dream. So I love you. Josh and I are 36. I think Josh is 37. He looks 87, but I digress.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the hair that matches the Christmas tree.
Yeah, that's what it does for me.
But you look at a guy that's real young like yourself, and like you said, you haven't even been in the business 2 years yet. So it's interesting to see where you think where you would like to be in 5 years. So,
and you mentioned, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say like starting out, because I obviously started trading when I was 19, and just everybody like like, oh, how old are you? And I'd be like, I'm only 19. They'd be like, well, like, kind of like what you were saying, Chase, with like the whole starting young. Like, they're like, you start at the perfect time. 18 to 20, I feel like is like that deciding factor because, you just, after a while, your body goes against you and decides to hate you for whatever reason. And then especially when you're a wrestler. So yeah, they're like starting young is obviously the best choice.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned a little bit about wanting to travel to the 50 states and wrestle on 50 states. We've seen you here in Kansas and Missouri. Like, where are you at now? Like, how many states have you been to? How far have you traveled for a wrestling show? And I know those trips can be hard. Traveling 6 to 8 hours and then turning around and coming back that same night. Like,
Yeah.
how far have you gone out, and how many states have you hit so far in your 2 years?
So the farthest state I've ever gone to was Minnesota. And we, like you said, we still did the there and the night back. And that was, I believe, like, man, I think it was 10, 12 hours to there and then 10, 12 back.
Whew.
So it was a lengthy run, but yeah, I was gonna say I got like you said, Missouri, Kansas, Minnesota, Illinois, Nebraska. Trying to think of it. Just making sure I don't miss any. Let's say I think like those five, like 5 to 6, 5 to 7. I can't. It's foggy, hitting my head too much.
A wise man once told me, "How do you know if you're winning the game if you don't know the score?"
Yeah, yeah. I'm just heck yeah, like I said, whipping my head back too much on the bumps.
Yeah, you got to tuck your chin, brother.
So we got the Iceman in the chat. Atlas is a talented kid, giving me some tough matches recently, and that was for. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that Tri-States? Is that where you faced Iceman?
No, it was New Breed as well. It was this one as well. It ended up going to like the both of us couldn't answer the count of 10. That's what that was.
Ooh.
Yeah, and then we've had a couple here and there.
Talk about talk about some of the other companies in the area that you've wrestled. You wrestled a little bit in Heartland Championship Wrestling. We've seen you there. And WLW, that's a big one. They just went to they just got affiliate of NWA now.
Yeah.
Over the last couple months. So talk about some of our local promotions that you've had the opportunity to wrestle in.
So yeah, like Heartland, KC, you guys, they're with the Midwest. Unfortunately, you're not drawing the thousands and thousands, but the people that do come, like with KCXW, Fountain City, Heartland, New Breed, they're a loyal fan base, and what I like is every single show, they're loud, they're consistent, and once you pull them in, you got them hooked. There's not really like, first match they're hot, and then second, third, dead, and then but like once you get them pulled like right away, they're hooked instantly, and that's what I really like about in the Midwest.
Fantastic. We're gonna start winding this thing down, but I want to do something. We're gonna do. I'm gonna do some quick shot questions. Just answer you the first thing that comes off of your head, okay?
Okay.
Favorite road food?
Casey's Pizza.
Casey's Pizza, love it. Favorite road dog? Like who do you have to have in the car when you're making the towns, brother?
TJ. Tobias.
I love it.
He keeps us up. He keeps us up.
Road playlist, like genre of music on the road that you prefer to listen to.
Rock or rap.
Love it. Not really a dream opponent, but kind of like a bucket list opponent in the Midwest.
In the Midwest. Shailin.
Love it. Big opponent that you want like in the whole country on the independent scene.
Let's say Cardona. Like
Cardona?
wrestling. Yeah.
Love it. And what advice would you give to somebody who wants to get into the business?
Little shy, little Buffy, but just do it. Biggest thing I've always thought about, especially like the 2 hour drive and all that is, and I know I've been joking, but like as much as the pain hurts and all that, the only bigger pain that you can really feel is regret. And I don't want to look back on my life thinking, what if, So yeah, just go ahead and do it. If you can find, anywhere near you, just do what you can, make ends meet, and just train.
I love that. I love that. Atlas, I appreciate you hanging out with us, man. We got a couple of closing questions for you. The first thing I want you to do is tell everybody still watching with us. By the way, got a bunch of people still watching. Just appreciate you guys hanging out with us. I want you to tell them what bookings you got coming up in the next few weeks. Where can people?
I got New Breed, this weekend, and then World League the next weekend, and then I'm off for the rest of the year. It's the birthday and Christmas time, so it's just. But then my first booking of the year is January 11th for KCXW.
Hell yeah!
Destiny.
Yep, City House.
Yeah. So I see that shirt you got on. Is there anywhere that people can purchase some Atlas Armstrong merch?
I'm working on it. I'm trying to find a couple websites. Might even try to make my own. Be a lot simpler and easier, better that way, I think. But yeah, trying to work on that.
It's not bad.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say it's not bad making your own. It's just you find a good place to make the dollars and cents make sense, right?
Yeah.
If you need any help with that, man, hit us up. I found a pretty good little niche to do it. So
sweet, thank you. Yeah,
absolutely.
So and then I guess just tell everybody where we can follow you on your social medias.
So if you want to watch like all my matches, or at least most of them, YouTube Atlas Armstrong, Instagram Atlas Still Wrestles, Threads, TikTok same thing, and then just Twitter's the only weird one. It's Atlas_Wrestles.
Yeah. Trust me, those Twitter handles, man, like they can get really, really rough. When I'm making like graphics or I'm making videos or clips or anything like that, and I'm trying to tag people, it is difficult to find the Twitter ones. Are we allowed to call it Twitter anymore?
X, I guess. Yeah, X.
Yeah, whatever. So Alice, I'm sure you saw in the intro, if you haven't seen the show before, one of the things that we love to do, man, because we love to put it in like in the intro and some of our promotional stuff, is just kind of have you say, hey, I am the Natural Atlas Armstrong and you're watching the I-70 hot tag. However you want to do it, man, you can do it normal, you can do it gimmicked up, whatever you prefer. But what we'll do is we're going to put you center screen, and then you can go ahead and do it. Okay.
I got you.
Fantastic.
Trying to look pretty. All right. I'm the Natural Atlas Armstrong, and you're watching the I-70 hot tag.
Love it. Love it. I heard a wise man say to you one time to cut the hair and get some clean looking trunks, man. You'd be off the races, kid.
Yeah, I would say.
I don't remember that guy's name. I don't remember that guy's name, but he was pretty smart. So.
All right, sir. Well, we appreciate your time, and
thank you.
Keep killing it, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Bye, buddy. Take care.
You too.
All right. What is going on here?
Yeah, what the hell?
There we go.
Put your hat away.
Let's act like we've done this before, right?
Yes, heard that. Act like it ain't been longer than 6 months since the last time we did it.
Right. The Natural Atlas Armstrong. It was good to be back, man. That was a great interview.
Yes, it was. great first interview back. Obviously looking forward to more. And we'll kind of stay tuned to the social medias for everybody to find out more of what that's going to look like coming in 2025. Let's run down. Are we going to run down all of December's, or do we want to run down this entire list that you got here?
No, let's just close out the year. Let's just see what we got going the rest of 2024.
Perfect. As Atlas Armstrong mentioned, December 7th, this Saturday, New Breed Wrestling Toys for Tots, Eldon, Missouri. You're going to see Superstar Steve, Atlas Armstrong, Frodo the Ghost, Slammer Brother. You mentioned New Breed Wrestling always doing those, Toys for Tots. Shout out to those guys. Shout out to Tri-States Wrestling. They always do stuff for the dogs. They've got some shows coming up. Pro Wrestling Epic. Love that you put Pro Wrestling Epic on this. In our sabbatical, if you will, I've become a gigantic fan of Lenny Mephisto and Pro Wrestling Epic. So love that we put them in there. They're kind of in that St. Louis, Alton, Illinois area. But you're going to see Camaro Jackson, Benjamin Truss there. HCW wrecked the halls in Leavenworth, Kansas. Guys, if you're watching and you are in Kansas City, this show at Leavenworth is going to be free. So you go to the Leavenworth local hotel, you're going to get in for free, watch free wrestling, and they have an open bar. And if you sit close enough to the commentary table, you're going to get to hear your boy do commentary. So, I mean, it's a win-win situation. I don't know how you can lose. So free open bar. The open bar is not free, but
HCW. Yeah. You said open bar. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
But we haven't talked about this, man. Like, Ray Leon is your new HCW heavyweight champion.
Brother.
So he's gonna
brother. We have not talked about that, but I don't want to go too far into it, but check out HCW's YouTube page. I'm sure that event, which is produced or not produced, but edited and produced, I guess, by the same people that do Fountain City Pro, B. Smith Enterprises, Brett Smith Enterprises. They do a fantastic job. HCW actually goes live. So if you guys can't make that show in Leavenworth, you guys can actually watch that show on Facebook Live. But I recommend going to Leavenworth and watching that show. If you are more in the middle of the state, that same day, World League Wrestling Christmas Bash in Troy, Missouri, which why I said kind of like it more in the middle of the state, kind of St. Louis area. Raheem De La Suede. Don't have much more on it than that. December 15th. Is that right?
That is.
Are we sure?
It's on their socials.
Yuletide Terror is on a Sunday?
That's what it says.
Oh, dog, I'm going.
Thomas Shire, Gary J, Matt Fitchett, St. Louis Anarchy.
Yeah.
Yuletide Terror.
Yeah, my bad. I hadn't even looked at the date. I thought it was Friday like their other shows. I was really kind of bummed out. This is going to be a stellar card. St. Louis Anarchy came and put the Journey to Anarchy show on in October at Guitars and Cadillacs. Kind of give you guys a taste of what's to come there, and a taste of what's come for future for St. Louis Anarchy, not for Guitars and Cadillacs, obviously. That was poorly done. Anyways, St. Louis Anarchy Yuletide Terror will be live on IWTV. If you guys cannot make the drive to Alton, Illinois, but your boy will. So I was super, super bummed because I was like, man, like that's going to be on a Friday and I can't get off. And now that I know that it's not on a Friday, I'm going. WrestleMax, No Escape, Kaya McKenna, Nixie XS, Camaro Jackson, Mike Outlaw, who just made a return from his injury not too long ago. Absolutely. Just love his reinvention of his character. Super cool to see Mike Outlaw back in the game. And then on December 28th, Mid-States is going to be in St. Joseph, Missouri. You're going to see Moonshine Mantell, Scott Hansen, CTV. And I think the main event for that show is Luke Langley versus Scott Hansen in a ladder match for the Mid-States Heavyweight Championship.
It is, and they have had a hell of a rivalry down there in Mid-States. It's been cool to watch.
Yes, that's gonna close out the year. Then as we get closer to January, we'll start talking about January stuff. But yes, I do want to mention. I will mention one January show, and that is going to be KCXW Destiny. Tobias Storm is going to be there, of course. I would expect our guest tonight, Atlas Armstrong, to be there, and then somebody who has been out of action for a while will be making their return at this show, and that is Shooter Shy Lynn. She will be there. In what capacity, I'm not sure, but it'll be exciting to see Shooter Shy Lynn get back into the game. So
it's getting close, I think, man. Like she got hurt early. Was it late last year? 2022. She's been out the entire calendar year, if I'm not mistaken.
2023 or 2024.
Yeah.
You said 2022, man.
God, I'm all. Yeah, like I said,
where are you at?
Yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be awesome to see Shylin back. Hopefully, we'll see if she's in action in actual match. But I think this timeline that she said she was going to be out is pretty close to up. So we could see her, step back into the ring and get back to action here. So yeah, should be a fun time. That's at. I didn't write down the location, but I'm not even going to try to. Soccer Nation or wherever else they normally run their events. I'm not sure if it's up in Kansas City or not. North Kansas City, or if it's at Soccer Nation. So
I like it.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. Look at this, man.
I'm going to do my best to get another show booked here before the end of the year. So
let's do it, man. Let's start. Let's start looking for a guest, and then we'll go. And bro, let's hit the hay again. Let's start doing. We'll gear up for 2025. We'll talk about it after we close out here. I'm talking ship in front of everybody. Guys, we appreciate everybody joining with us tonight. Huge shout out to our guest Atlas Armstrong. Make sure you guys go follow him on social media. If you're in the area, go buy a ticket to New Breed Wrestling on Saturday. No matter where you're at, go buy a ticket to some local independent wrestling. You guys are gonna love it. This is why we do what we do with the hot tag, with our other ventures that you guys are well aware of. We believe in like the independent wrestling circuit. We believe in live professional wrestling. So go check that stuff out. Want to give one last shout out to our huge sponsor, the official snack of the I-70 hot tag, Guys Snacks. And Josh, you got anything else for us tonight?
I don't. Appreciate everybody tuning in.
Well, for my friend, the real Josh Elliott, for myself, Chase Riley, CRMEDIA, this has been the I-70 Hot Tag, episode 88. 88. That's a damn good year, baby. 12 more episodes. Do you think maybe we make it to there? Maybe we don't. We'll see. Again, guys, appreciate you joining us tonight. Chase, Josh, we're signing out.